Hi everybody, I'm Lights Camera Jackson. The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey is the first in a trilogy of prequels to one of the most successful movie trilogies of all time, The Lord of the Rings. Director Peter Jackson returns to Middle-earth and the classic works of J.R.R. Tolkien, and he's brought along a new friend, HFR, but we'll get to that in a few precious minutes. The Hobbit begins with an old Bilbo Baggins secretly writing his life story to nephew Frodo. Elijah Wood, who made that character famous in the Rings films, does make a cameo appearance here. And what a story Baggins has to tell. His adventures begin 60 years prior to the start of the Lord of the Rings saga. One day, Bilbo, a home-buddy hobbit played by Martin Freeman, meets Gandalf the Wizard, Ian McKellen reprising his Rings role. Gandalf is looking for someone to accompany him on a journey, and there's a catch. They'll be joined by 13 dwarfs who storm into Bilbo's house and ask him if he'll become their 14th member. Gandalf believes Bilbo would make a great choice to join the crew because he used to be cunning and adventurous before settling down to his home and ordinary life. After some thought, Bilbo decides to assist Gandalf and the dwarfs on their quest to take back their homeland, the Lonely Mountain. And the rest of the film is made up of their journey, in which they get in and out of trouble over and over and over. For an action-adventure movie, The Hobbit is pretty slow. There is a lot of action, but unfortunately not a lot of excitement. Jackson has made a very linear film, which is made up of chase scene after chase scene after chase scene. The small warriors get into battle with several groups of wildly ugly creatures. They escape, and then a few minutes later, they're on the run and fighting again. The few breaks in the action are taken up mostly with scenes in which the characters explain why they're fighting and who they're fighting next. And every scene, fighting and non-fighting, is stretched out way too long. It's almost as if Jackson felt he had to make the film nearly 3 hours long or fans would be disappointed. In some ways, The Hobbit has the look and feel of a role-playing video game in which the protagonists battle and defeat gory, hideous creatures to get to the next level. And while all of this is going on, it also tries too hard to be upbeat and humorous, mainly with dwarf hijinks. In the best sequence in the film, Bilbo Baggins gets separated from the clan and meets up with the iconic Lord of the Rings character Gollum. Andy Serkis, the king of motion capture acting, reprises his role. Their interaction not only provides a break from the endless action, but also provides some depth to the story. And who doesn't like Gollum? Now let's get into the new technology. Jackson decided to shoot and release the film in a format called HFR 3D, HFR standing for high frame rate. Normally films are shot at 24 frames per second, but The Hobbit was filmed at 48 frames per second, which makes the images on screen clearer and more defined. But there are some drawbacks. At times, especially early on until you get used to it, the HFR makes the characters look too good. You don't believe that these are dwarves and a hobbit living in this faraway land. Instead, they are actors in costume on a set working in front of a green screen. Also, at times, movements and gestures, walking, picking up objects, etc., are noticeably faster than reality, and there's a chase scene that gets wildly out of control. The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey is rated PG-13 for the fantasy action violence. Fans of the books and the film franchise will likely love it. Now, this wasn't the right film for HFR 3D to make its debut. Middle-earth isn't supposed to look this good. So avoid that and maybe 3D entirely and go with the safer and cheaper 2D version if you're planning on going. But considering all the quality end-of-the-year movies that are out right now, I say this is actually an unnecessary journey to take. On the official LCJ report card, The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey gets a C-.